I told my sister-in-law that I'd sew her wedding dress, but I just went back on my word.
Dude, as someone who sews, I get it. Don't do it. Don't do it.
You heard it here first, folks. My brother and future sister-in-law had planned on getting married by the end of June, but the vid happened. Long before that, he had requested from me as a wedding gift to sew the wedding dress of my sister-in-law. By the way, this comes from her is son Berserk. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So I am by no means a professional, unlike this individual to my left.
What can I say?
But I can do simple stuff rather nicely. I already sew stuff for my family and friends as gifts regularly, little outfits for the kids or cosplays, just easy stuff that can be worn even if there are a few defects on it. They had planned on a no-frill wedding with close family and friends only, and my sister-in-law had her eyes on a flowing, layered Grecian tunic-style dress. Rather easy to do and not too expensive as far as materials needed, so I agreed. But with the lockdown, well, things got complicated. Lockdown started in March, we were unable to get the fittings, etc., and pretty soon they realized the wedding would have to be postponed. My sister-in-law lost it, crying, screaming, the whole shebang. Nothing we could do or say could calm her down until my brother asked her what she wanted to do instead. And she said she wanted now a big wedding as compensation.
Uh-oh.
I don't know about that, Chief. I mean, well, okay, I get her frustration, I really do, but the main reason they were having a small wedding was to save money to renovate the house. And so on and so forth. But that's none of my business, I know. My brother relented, and now they are planning a big ol' wedding for 2021. Sister-in-law sent me her new requirements, and she wants a full skirt with silk, bodiced, lined, embroidered, trained, the whole princess gig.
I will say that word is bodiced.
Bodiced? Oh, I thought it was bodiced.
No, it's okay.
Bodiced. Bodiced, modest. Mouse. That, of course, I will still pay for in full for the materials. I told her I didn't feel like I could do it, that it was too complicated for my skills, and she went ballistic. She said I was lying, that I had done complicated things before, and that it was just nothing more than a couple more stitches.
Dude.
Triggered over here for sure.
Triggered. There are so many situations when like someone who doesn't sew is like, it's not that hard. And it's like, girl, you have not sewn before.
It's like
everything is so much more complicated than it seems.
Go do it then.
Go do it.
Oh, it's just a couple more stitches?
Yeah.
That's great. Go ahead and do it then.
No, it's a completely different system if you want all that. Completely different.
I have been trying to explain to my brother, because she doesn't want to speak to me anymore, as I am conspiring to ruin her wedding, that I do not feel able to do it. His solution is that I buy the wedding dress that she wants, or I wouldn't be invited to the wedding. So I said, okay. I said I wouldn't go because I couldn't do what they asked me. Boom. Yes. Okay. Thank God. You had me in the first half. I was like, no, don't buy her wedding dress for her.
Yeah.
I said I wouldn't go because I couldn't do what they asked me. I can't sew that dress, and I certainly can't pay for what she wants. I'm now a heartless big sister who doesn't approve of her little bro's wedding or wife, and honestly, I just want to tell them all to go stitch their big mouths closed. And there is an update, which is, what is this? This is wedding fever. Like,
this is just, dude, I'm like... Triggered is absolutely the right word. There is just literally so many situations. I've ranted so many times with my other job is involving sewing, and I've ranted to the boss so many times, like back and forth with her, just about people not understanding what goes into sewing, and like people asking us to like do certain things, and it's like no, you don't get it. Like it's like asking to build a house. It's like like, can you just like make this little hut for me or put up a tent? Right. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, actually I want a full house with soundproof walls and everything.
Right.
It's like,
and it's like, well, it's just a couple more screws and some more wood. What's the difference?
No, sir. No, sir. It is not.
Well, we do have an update here.
Let's see it.
Hopefully there's some reconciliation. I am really touched by the support and the many great advices I receive. Many of you here or in private messages gave me ideas and leads on how to deal with this the best way possible, as well as pointing out things I hadn't even considered. On Saturday, I'll see my parents, and I will explain to them that as much as I appreciate their faith in my capacities, I am not up to the task, and while their support is amazing, at this moment and on that subject, it's misguided. I will do an itemized list of the costs of the first dress, the one I agreed to make, a quote from a professional seamstress of my town for the new dress my sister-in-law wants, and a few picked up examples of the prices of off-the-rack dresses and show it to them to demonstrate my point.
There you go.
Point being that would be a lot to do.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
Many of you also pointed out that while my sister-in-law is planning on splurging, the question of who's going to shoulder the extra cost hasn't been raised. I want to touch on that point with them as well. Also raise the point that it's all nice and well to faire des plans sous les comètes. I hope that was close. I think in English that translates to wishing upon the moon for a 2021 wedding. It's not even guaranteed, which is, now that we're living in the future, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yes, having her wedding ruined is hard and crappy and effed up. And to all of you here going through this, I really hope the postponement will only bring you even better things. But it doesn't allow her to act like this, and I will not go to that wedding unless big apologies are made. Last but not least, I had no idea there were that many fabric artists, sewists, embroideresses, stylists, and such. And I had no idea this community would be so supportive. And I also learned a lot. So thanks to all of you again. I will update next week when I've seen my parents, and we have an update.
Wow.
Do we think it's good or bad?
I'm scared.
I'm saying bad.
I'm saying bad.
All right.
Most of our stories statistically prove that this will be bad.
Just say that this is like this person being like, you're sabotaging my wedding because now you won't give me the dress you can't make.
It was already a big ask for someone to make your wedding dress.
Yeah.
If this is someone that does not do this, like if someone, I don't know what kind of stuff she makes, but if she usually makes like tote bags or something, and or like little clothes, I guess she did mention she'll make little clothes that are wearable. A wedding dress is a big jump.
That's a big jump.
Big jump.
So, a lot of things happened. After a few requests, this is the kind of things I had promised, like one of you so nicely said. Mostly my sewing style is full-on Monet. Father, you are the best, it looks, but for the love of everything that is nice in the world, don't look too closely at it. Okay, so we have the picture here.
I see.
Throw the picture upon the screen. I went to my parents on Sunday. They understood very quickly the huge difference in skill set required to fulfill the new request. They also discovered the wondrous world of AliExpress and Wish counterfeit designer wedding dresses, because that's where they had gotten their price range ideas from.
From Wish? They said, okay, this can be a $1 wedding dress. Dude.
It's just made out of toilet paper.
Yeah, exactly. And dreams.
Quite a few laughs were had over the expectation versus reality pictures I had found. We also went over the extra costs of the new wedding, and I just advised to be careful as we didn't even know yet what would be possible with the pandemic threat still lurking around. 2 days later, my brother stopped by, and before I could see him in real life, accompanied by future sister-in-law. Keep in mind that this is a recap of what I have been told by my parents. I was not here for this. Our parents did take my side on the dress story, and at first it seemed that my future sister-in-law heard them out, until they said they weren't sure they could chip in for the extra costs of a store-bought princess dress. Then, again, I wasn't here. This is what they told me happened. My sister-in-law silently mouthed out a very foul word towards my mother, and my dad saw her do this. All heck broke loose.
Oh boy.
For a couple weeks, everyone was screaming at everyone else. My bro not really siding with his wife-to-be or our parents. Our dad doesn't want anything to do with future sister-in-law at all, ever. What did she say?
I really want to know.
So dad wants nothing to do with her, but mom is more hopeful that a nice apology and some explanations could mend the fences. I still haven't been able to catch my brother face to face. He called, and it ended up rather sour since he threw my celibate status at my face as a symbol of failure. But he did later send me an apology text saying he loved me, he wanted me at the wedding no matter what, and he would understand should I not want to sew the original dress anyway. And there was some sweet revenge here. My dad was so incensed at what had happened that he took me to the fabric shop the very next day and told me to go wild and get yourself enough fabric for a princess dress. So 1 pattern and 3 weeks of intense self-challenging later, it's full of mistakes and crooked sewing, but it was made with the ardent fervor of self-righteousness. And there's a link for the dress here. And I swear to the heavens that if she doesn't apologize to my parents, I will wear this at her wedding. Ooh, so she probably made
fun.
like a crazy, awesome princess dress for herself.
Yeah.
We have another edit here. Thank you, everyone, for the kind words towards my family here and in private messages. The sewing pattern for the yellow dress is the McCall 2041. I'm sorry, I could have sworn it was a simplicity. My bad.
How dare you, OP?
Yes.
How dare you?
How dare you? My inspiration wasn't the Belle dress, sorry, nor was it the Hamilton musical, which I admit I haven't seen yet. It was a book I had read recently and loved, an old horror novel called The King in Yellow. And I wanted to be a queen in yellow, ominous and angry and powerful when I picked the fabric, because I was pissed and angry and hurt at what had happened. And I was indeed feeling spiteful. And by the way, I'll never feel spiteful if you go listen to full episodes of stories like this on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search OK Storytime and you will have a basically unlimited amount of stories to choose from. So there is a little bit of story left. Let me see if I can pull up the dresses really quick. But it looks like that's not like really a wedding dress.
Yeah.
It's like just
If
a
that's the
really
right one.
beautiful dress that she made.
Yeah,
So
I mean-
she would kind of upstage, but she's not wearing white,
Not
which
wearing
is
white.
good.
Yeah, she mentioned it was yellow.
That would be too far.
Yeah. Dang.
Let's finish it off. So, okay. Here we go.
We know.
Here's what the sister-in-law mouthed.
I'm so excited.
Well, here's a quick French lesson. You can worsen a lot of slurs by adding, I think it's but-e, but it's assez probably at the end. Like, yeah, exactly. For example, une con is a stupid woman. Une connasse is a stupid, despicable, mean woman.
I see.
The slur she used was that of that category, hence my usually mellow dad flying off his handle.
Wow.
P.S. I have decided to name that dress, and yes, thanks to you all, she will now and forever be known as Spite Dress. And that is the end of that story.